I want to talk about something I think we can all relate to, and that's the despair of being unwanted. Not having someone to enjoy and participate in your life. I can't think of anyone in my life that is happy to see me. I can't think of anyone in my life that wants to call me. I can't think of anyone in my life that wants to be part of me, that wants to partake in any activity or anything I have going on in my life. I can't think of anyone that really has any interest in what I want to do with my life. I'm not anyone's priority. I think this is one of the many reasons that I'm so alone. And I constantly struggle with the feelings of despair and isolation. I'm noticing that I'm constantly having to motivate myself to do better. I'm having to remind myself to do the things to improve my life. And yet, for other people in their lives, they have someone else. They have a loving spouse, they have a friend group, they have mentors that will guide them along the way. They have people in their lives that care about them, that will ask them, hey, I hear you're having it rough, with college, or maybe they're uh, doing something that's really difficult, like med school or whatever, right? But they'll have someone, a group of people that care about them. They'll ask them, hey, I know this is really tough for you, but just know that I care about you and I support you with whatever it is that you're doing. I'm I don't really have that. I was looking through Facebook, and it it was like looking through an entirely different whatever you want to call it, a movie, or looking through something that was totally alien to me, right? Because I'm kind of in a phase where I'm like, well, okay, I want to see, what everyone that, I used to know in high school is up to, right? So I look at an old crush of mine. Actually, I should mention, I got a bunch of photographs from an old Facebook account that I never deleted, because I guess you can't like delete a Facebook account. What you can do is you can deactivate it, but you can never actually delete it, right? So I'm looking through all these old pictures of me and my friends and stuff like that. The friends that I used to have, that gave my life meaning. I had some photos of like some crushes that I had. I had some old photos of family and stuff like that. So I thought to myself, okay, well, let me just, I know I have an idea of where some of them might be, but I don't exactly know what they're doing, because I know for certain that a number of these people, just really didn't care about me, and they saw me as being a third wheel, when it came to, our relationship. So I checked out one of these girls, and she, it's a complete 180 of what I had imagined. So she's in a very loving relationship. She's actually soon to be married. She's got a small business that she's developing. She's got a YouTube channel. I don't know how successful it is or whatever. She actually did graduate art school. Um, Although I'm looking, I'm trying not to be like spiteful or whatever, but I'm looking at, some of her drawings and stuff like that. And they could definitely use some improvement, but she's a homeowner, that's, it, I can't think of like anything, like there's no negatives. I'm not trying to, point the finger and say like, oh, she did this wrong, or look at her, look at how bad she has it. No, she's got everything made, you know, and uh, you know, I'm not trying to be envious. I'm just saying like, she's done everything right, and I'm the complete opposite, where I'm still with my parents. I'm going to be 30 next year. I'm still stuck at a minimum wage job. I'm trying to make a career shift with the skills that I do have, and I'm trying to branch out and to related skills with some of the education that I've acquired, although I don't have a degree. But my life is moving at a very, very slow pace. And because my life is moving at a very, very slow pace, it's not confusing as to why not just people my age, a lot of people would want nothing to do with me. What I'm thinking about, dating apps, right? As like a last resort. But what realistically could I offer? Because it's not just dating, right? And you guys know I don't talk about, dating, on my channel, but every relationship is transactional. With friendships, you offer time, you offer experiences, you offer company, companionship, right? And it's very hard to say if you can actually do that past a certain age. It's very powerful in high school, middle school maybe, but once you're past that phase of your life, people want something even more serious than that, right? So in college, or around, if you're not in college, within those years, people are looking for commitment. They're looking for a partner that they can call theirs, and they'll have a mutual relationship, which will eventually be marriage, right? This is sort of why, I think certain friendships and certain relationships just get ignored. And then the rest of us, the loners, the people that are the outcasts of society, what do we have? What are our options? In our case, I know it's not just me. We have the internet, we got places like Discord, we got forums, and it's mostly filled with people like us. I've tried explaining some of this to more normie people, and they don't seem to quite understand. And I don't want to disparage the normie and say that they don't have problems. A lot of them do have addictions to their phone. But our problems stem from a lack of socialization, a lack of intimacy, a lack of connection and validation with other people. But going back to what I was saying earlier, describing myself and where I am in my life, who would want to spend time with me? I mentioned in one of my very first videos that I'm just a janitor. What possible input could I say that could interest someone? It doesn't matter the amount of books or the amount of essays that I've written in the past, the amount of introspection that I've done with myself that could make what I say possibly interesting to someone. What matters is the outside, the outward appearance, right? I have nothing to reflect what I've done. There might be some people in the comments, thinking about, well, why don't you just reconnect, with your old crush, on Facebook and just message her, ask her, how she's doing, and see if she'd want to talk to you, see what happened, after you guys last met. She might want to talk. Look, I don't know. But like I said, she's with someone that she's about to be married to, right? So she's engaged. And, I wouldn't want to be invasive, in terms of her private life, which, it feels kind of wrong to do that. But second of all, again, going back to my main point, what would we even talk about? Hey, sorry, I just wanted to know, how you've been, stuff like that. It's been so long since we last talked. By the way, I'm 29 and I'm a janitor, and I'm still living with my folks and stuff like that. School didn't go so well for me and stuff like that. And you know, I got some commissions, when I was doing art for freelance, but other than that, everything's been a failure in my miserable life. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to talk to someone like that. I think the only people that are comfortable in this space are people that share our suffering. The people that get it. Like, I know what you've been through. You know what I've been through. So I'm not going to judge you. Now, when I air my grievances, I for me, okay, this channel, it's like a diary. And, for a while, I put it off, but I feel like it'd be good to sort of, kind of get back on the wheel and just sort of, make some of this content again. Because I know I'm not the only one that's suffering through what seems to be the chaos of this world. One thing I should say is, I really do want to talk and get more active, with people within this community and just let them know that, like, I am available. Um, I think there's a lot of unnecessary bickering, and that's something I've engaged in and something I'm not happy with. Because I think a lot of people sort of come into this idea that this space needs to be one way or it needs to be another. I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about that. But ultimately, if you're watching this, I do think that we have a lot more in common in terms of shared misery than we do differences. There's going to come a point in time where I just don't know how to talk to anyone anymore. You know, um, I think I'm slowly losing like my people skills because working a retail job, I have to be face to face with the customer, and I know I catch myself doing this all the time, where I'm I'm sort of like in an autopilot type mode, and I'm not really trying to like personally engage with the customer or whatever. Like I'll do that with like my coworkers or whatever. Like that's one thing, but like like the actual customer, I'm just like, okay, I'll say my robotic line and then I'll go on to like the next customer or whatever, right? Um, but one thing I really catch myself doing is I don't like looking people in the eyes. I'm always like averting my gaze or whatever. Um, Especially with other men. Uh, and I think if I could diagnose what that is, I think, that's, my subconscious. And that's a part of me recognizing that I'm inferior. I'm in an inferior position. I'm much weaker. And that, yeah, it's me essentially recognizing my low status, right? Like, look at where you are. You're at the very bottom, you know, and here you are servicing another person, you know, right where, you deserve to be, Um, it's, I don't know. It's pretty pathetic, Even then, I was reading this forum because I'm trying to do a career change. So I'm reading about this certification program that looked interesting because it's sort of related to what my interests are and also my prior work experience, in healthcare. And one of the people that comments on it, he's basically saying like, hey, a lot of people go into this program thinking they're going to do like a career change in their 30s, but that's not going to happen because what people don't realize is networking gets you the job. Networking. It's not about, what you know or how smart you are. It's who you know, right? I noticed that with a lot of things lately. And it's I just feel that that's the unfortunate part about like everything, regarding um, dating, regarding your status as a person, regarding income. It just, everything seems to be, uh, uh, let's say, even this channel, everything, is in factors into connections and networking and luck and stuff like that. You could be one of the most passionate, artistic people there are, and yet if you're in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, with no friends, and you're ugly, and I don't know, you're fat, and you got no friends, then, I mean, it's gonna, nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna be a miserable failure for the rest of your life, you know. But you could have some absolutely trash art, right? And so long as you're attractive, so long as you have a lot of followers or whatever on Instagram or Twitter, I guess, I don't know, and you build up a following, and as long as you're charismatic, you're fine, you're good. I've seen it personally. But anyway, I mean, this is going off track, so I might as well just end it here. But anyway, nice talking to you all.